Hi, everybody. This is David Siegel welcoming you to another SunCast. It's a pleasure to talk to you again. The Sun are looking a lot better than they did early on in this year. Where the team sits at 7-9, currently in the number 7 spot for the playoffs, and another game coming tonight. And with this every other night, that's easy to say. So it's a pleasure to welcome back to the SunCast one of my favorite people to talk to, the captain, the point guard, Jasmine Thomas. Hi, Jazz. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. I'm happy to be back.
Well, Jazz, first let's talk about what's happened with the team. Obviously, as people got to get used to each other, things started to pick up a little bit, and the team looks a lot more organized, moving off of each other. Can you just talk for a few minutes about the changes that have gone on with everybody being around?
I think exactly what you said. Us, how we got down here, we weren't even in full strength, ultimately not in full strength, still not having JJ. But, we didn't arrive all in, at 100%. And then having so many new pieces, it just took some time to kind of get a rhythm, understand the offense, feel comfortable in the offense, and then also our defensive principles. So I feel like now, having some games under our belt, we've been able to, win some close games and also just have a better flow. I think everything just feels a lot better out there. Now, as we get deeper into the season, we start running into some fatigue and, like every team, dealing with little bumps and bruises here and there. But for the most part, things feel a lot better.
You were used to having options like Alyssa Thomas, of course, and like you said, JJ, and you knew where they were going to be and what was going on and such. Now, DeWanna Bonner is a spectacular player with a different skill set, obviously, than anybody else that was there before. Was it difficult, and is it difficult still trying to figure out where to get her the ball, what to do with, that's part of what I'm talking about with the team getting to know each other better.
Yeah, I think so. It is at times. I just feel like you kind of, we were playing with the same team for years, so it was a comfort. It was, knowing those things exactly what you said, where people want the ball, how they score, where they feel comfortable in the offenses, what sets are, their go-to sets. So anytime you put new pieces on a team, especially a piece as significant as DeWanna, it takes some time just for everyone to kind of still be able to, roles change a little. So, you got to figure out, just the dynamic of the offense. And I feel like that we're still currently working on that. But it definitely feels a lot more fluid. The movement, it just feels more cohesive, not as choppy, not as disorganized.
The other player that I want to ask about, Brianna Jones has been great, except that she is a true down in the box, in the paint center. JJ is not that. So that must be a real big adjustment to have the entry passes and things like that in the paint instead of wherever JJ is moving. I just get a different look. It's been great to see her take advantage and perform so great with this opportunity. We've always known this is how she could play. This is how she plays, especially in Europe against, the best posts in the world. She's been playing like this. So we had complete confidence in her, and it's just honestly refreshing to see that, there's still a place for that style of basketball. This being my 10th year in the league, what you start to see more and more is nobody wants to be down in the block. Everybody wants to be a stretch post and be able to, handle the ball, shoot from the outside, attack off the dribble. So it's nice to see her be successful doing that. One of your calling cards has always been on the defensive end. And, a couple weeks ago we had Breon January on the SunCast, and she was just raving about how great it was to have you beside her because she didn't necessarily have to cover the best player on the other team all the time. Now you guys go out and add essence,
who has always been one of the best defenders in the league. So
right.
You guys defensively are phenomenal. Can you talk for a second about having all these extra talented defensive players? And, of course, AT is as flexible as they possibly can as a defender, too.
Right.
I certainly wouldn't want to slight her.
I mean, for me, it's refreshing to just have, like you said, so many pieces that are defensive-minded, that take pride in it, even just from a one-on-one standpoint first. Because ultimately, I think that's what makes a good defensive team, taking pride in that one-on-one battle first and then relying on the help defense after. And I think what it's allowed us to do, which we hadn't done very much in the past, is to be able to have multiple defensive schemes and really commit to them and do them on the fly. We're not practicing. So, it's not like we're repping these things. And, sometimes I guess for younger players, it could be a little harder to pick up. But so far, we felt pretty good about things defensively. And I feel exactly the same way about Brienne. Like, I've respected her as an offensive and defensive player for her entire career. So to have her here and, be able to piggyback off of her, and we are talking all the time, constantly communicating about how we want to, guard actions when it's just us two, being involved in any guard-to-guard thing, and just to have that confidence of knowing that, she's a tough defender as well, makes you feel good. Like you don't feel like you have to carry that responsibility as much for 40 minutes.
One of the things that she said was the best thing about being on the Sun, though, was not having to be the one that is run into AT's picks.
I know. Yeah, she sets a mean one for sure. She's super strong.
Now, Jazz, you, of course, have always been very active, very vocal about, in particular with you with the breast cancer. Let's talk about off the court for a minute. We would be remiss if we didn't discuss everything that's going on. Let's start on that front, though. Let's start with talking about all of the things that just went on. Especially, I want to talk about the virtual 5K and how well the Sun people dealt with that. And we've talked before, of course, how important breast cancer is a charity and research and such. To you personally, but being away from the people and all of this going on, and still having the breast health awareness. Can you talk for a second how it was different and how it was great about the 5K? What was great about that, and where you felt it was this year.
Yeah, I mean, it was a conversation that I was having with Amber even before we knew if or how the season was going to look. We didn't know what was going to happen, and we knew that we still wanted to make something happen. The support that we have in Connecticut with our season ticket holders and just our fan base and following has been phenomenal. And last year, starting, the actual dinner event, we wanted to continue that momentum. It's for me personally, and also just through the Sun and the KL Cancer Fund, like we have a really, really good partnership and unique to the W. And part of what, our goal is to have that extend throughout the league. So to be able to do the virtual 5K this year and have such a good turnout, given, everything that's going on in everyone's lives and in our country right now, I don't know, I just felt really good to have that support and participation and be able to raise $10,000 for an organization that's, helping women battle all cancers. Put the emphasis on breast cancer because, ultimately that is, that was the starting point of the foundation, but they're helping women with all cancer. So in a time like now where people are, out of work, struggling with any given situation, it feels good to be able to, provide support and be able to help them in any way that I can. And, it was a really good turnout. And I don't know, I'm just proud of, the Sun for helping me do that and, really being committed and genuine in their support.
There's no doubt that the Sun fans know how genuine you are and how important this is. And I agree, and I echo your thoughts about how great it was, the turnout to raise $10,000. I mean, that's just phenomenal.
Yeah, in 11 days. Yeah. It was. I'm proud of that for sure.
Okay. Now, of course, the other issues going on, there was, everything that went on with Black Lives Matter has been going on all season, Say Her Name. Then, of course, we had the horrible situations last week, and the players deciding to, express their thoughts by sitting out and saying things so eloquently and being such a leader as always in social reform. I'm going to give you a little bit of forum here. Hey, all I can do is support. I make no bones about that. I'm not even sure the right questions to ask you. So Can you just share a little bit about how you felt last week, what all of that was? And one question I do have is, who came up with the idea to put the quote from Dr. King on the sheets of paper? Because that was so powerful.
Right. Well, first, just everything that was going on, I feel like just the extremely heavy, tense, emotional time. I think you just could feel a lot of disappointment and a little bit of hopelessness. And it was the reason that we took the time to reflect and recommit our season to this work. You could just feel that, we wanted to stand in solidarity, obviously, with our brothers in the NBA, and we saw multiple leagues and teams and individual athletes in the sports world also doing the same. But, ultimately for us in the W, we decided to do this season and dedicate it to Say Her Name, to the countless Black women who get left out of the narrative when it's time to, talk about police brutality on Black lives. And because of that, us playing and continuing our season, and every time we go out there, we understand how valuable it is and how important it is that we're visible, that we play. So, it kind of was a statement thing to not play those games to kind of grab the attention, but to use that attention to put an emphasis on what we're doing and why we're doing it. And, the W has always been, like you hear all the time, at the forefront, not afraid to be vocal and present in these moments. So I'm extremely proud of our organization, of the WNBA and of the Connecticut Sun with our Change Can't Wait and our executive committee. I feel like the combination of things that are going on are extremely powerful and moving. And while at times it can be very difficult being in this bubble and just dealing with all the emotions and everything and not being around your family or in your community, it's a powerful thing to be a part of here. And it's unique having us all in this one place and the things that we're able to do. And I don't know, I just feel so proud of what we're doing. I'm disappointed a little that not more change is happening as fast as we want, but that's the thing. We have to just be persistent and patient, and that's what we're trying to do. The quote for the game, I actually have to give that credit to Robin Brown. She has been doing a phenomenal job down here with our social media and everything, and it was just, we had talked after the media availability after shoot-around. We were just trying to come up with something. We knew we wanted to, keep using our platform, keep using our voice, and we were talking about the anniversary of the March on Washington, so it just felt perfect to, do that quote. We had been kneeling for the anthem already, so, it really went together nicely. And I don't know, and then we did the Twitter. I don't know if you saw that, but after that we were doing, we were using the names of the women in the hashtags on Twitter. So, and during the game, behind those benches, that's what we were displaying for the whole game. So, we're trying to be, I don't know, it's a lot of creative minds working at once, and we're just trying to do the best that we can to stay focused on the games, of course, and perform the best that we can, but also remember the ultimate mission of this season, which is for change.
The other thing that I've seen, there's been a narrowing of the focus a little bit, and I think it's the right way to go, and that is to make sure that people register and vote, because that is the biggest hammer that we have, is be able to vote. Same thing. Was that something that the executive committee thought would be a good idea? Was it just something that evolved from you all talking? How did that focus come into play, and the emphasis on it?
I think just everyone being aware that that's the obvious reason obviously to really create and implement change is through voting and who are putting in positions of power. And there's just a whole bunch of conversations going on simultaneously at any given time, whether it's team by team, all players through our union, or through, the front offices in the league. Everyone's kind of talking and focused on a common goal. So I think through that's how the emphasis became, voting. And I agree. I think that is the most important thing. And then you just have teams individually doing things alongside of that to promote that. So, that's how that came about. And you see it also, in the NBA, putting that emphasis on voting.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I don't want to keep you and take up more of your time, Jazz. It's always great to talk to you. I mean, you get such little time off with this crazy schedule.
I know.
But,
I know.
One last thing to just mention. It seems like more and more teams are getting banged up, and the Sun was down a few players yesterday. So, is there anything that you guys are trying to do differently to stay on the court? Is there anything that I know the training staff is getting the due that that they have earned, but what do you do differently to try and stay as strong as you possibly can? Honestly,
between, we have our trainer here, so between those treatments, we have a massage therapist here, between, them coordinating on what everybody individually needs. And then even though our strength and conditioning coach isn't here, she's still very hands-on and present, sending, recovery workouts, whether it's in the pool or just body weight that you can do in your room, or weightlifting, regimens that we can do when we have time or when our body feels right. So it's honestly a team. And then you have, our coaches figuring out when do we need to stay off our feet and just do video, when we need to get extra shots, when we need to actually practice or walk through. So it's honestly a combination of everybody just working together to try to keep us as healthy as possible. It's not easy. It's getting tougher as the season goes on. We're fortunate to not have any, major concerns, but, just because the season's not over, regular season hasn't even finished, and then you have to consider playoffs. So just trying to keep us in a good place going forward.
Hey, I'm not used to seeing you and AT sitting on the bench, so.
I know. We aren't used to it either, but hey, if we, play as well as we did yesterday, maybe we can get some minutes down.
There you go. Can you believe there's only 6 games left in the regular season?
No, I can't. But I'm happy that we got a little rhythm going now. That 0-5 start was tough.
Sounds good. Well, Jazz, we'll look forward to watching you play again this evening. We'll look forward to watching you through those 6 games and on into the playoffs, because we know that there's going to be another deep run. So,
right. Thank you. Thank you so much, and thanks for having me.